Have you ever wondered what a healthy relationship looks like? If you have, you're not alone. This is the most searched relationship question year after year, according to Google. And Thriveworks is here to help you answer that question. My name is Emily Simonian, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist at Thriveworks in Washington, D.C. And it is my personal mission to help couples create the relationship that they want. And you might be wondering, who needs this class? Thriving in your marriage or relationship. Do I need this class? Does your partner need this class? And my quick answer to that is, if you are alive, you need this class. And I say that because I have worked with a lot of different couples. I've worked with couples that have been together 25 plus years that are looking for ways to improve their connection. I have worked with couples that have been through infidelity, that are trying to recover and repair their relationship. And I've worked with individuals that maybe want to come into couples counseling and their partner isn't ready. So whoever you are, I think that you can benefit from learning what a healthy relationship is. So we're going to start by defining what a thriving relationship is. And we can start by replacing the word thriving with healthy. We can replace it with happy, with peaceful, satisfied. Whatever you want your relationship to be, you can replace thriving with that word. So there are a few basic concepts that we're going to remember as we work through this class. You can remember them with an acronym, BEG. So the first one is beliefs. Our beliefs about relationships are going to govern our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors, how we show up in our relationship every day. So we're going to be talking about exploring our beliefs, what we think about relationships, what we think or believe about the relationship that we're in. We're also going to be learning. So the E is for education, because gathering information about what a healthy relationship is, a thriving relationship, is super important. It's fostering awareness, and awareness is curative. So the more we know about what a healthy relationship looks like, the more we can strive to be in a healthy, thriving relationship. And G is for growth mindset, because we are approaching this class and approaching our relationships with a growth mindset, meaning there is no arrival. There is no arrival at a perfect relationship. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. And so we're going to set ourselves up to fail if we say that, we want to achieve, some goal like never fighting with our partner, and always feeling happy. So we want to be forgiving, and we want to look at growing and moving through this class with that growth mindset. I like to give this analogy. So a couple comes in, they sit in front of me, and they'll say figuratively, Emily, you have to help us. There's a hole in our roof. There is a hole in the roof of our house, and we want you to fix it. Can you fix it? We have tried everything. It's leaking. It's a nuisance. Can you help us fix it? And so I'll ask them, okay, what tools do you have to fix it? Do you have a ladder? What do you have? What have you already tried? And they'll tell me what tools they already have, what they've tried. And so my job is to help couples improve what they already have and to help them find tools to fix that hole in their roof. And so I use the analogy of a relationship ladder, right? This ladder that's going to help us get up to the roof and fix that hole. And so we're going to go through this entire class looking at our relationship ladder. And so on each step of this ladder, there are key features of healthy relationships. And so we're going to look at that. The ladder starts actually with the ground level, what the ladder is resting on, a foundation of what we believe about relationships. So do we believe that relationships can be successful? Do we believe that divorce is the norm? What do we believe about relationships? We're going to look at that to begin with. So that's what the relationship ladder is resting on, right? Everything else depends on that. The first step of the ladder is communication, because communication is so important in relationships. What do I mean by communication? I'm talking about open communication. I'm talking about partners making decisions together, partners being open with one another, frequently discussing things that are difficult, not being defensive in the way that you are speaking with your partner, not using ridicule or name calling or blaming. So there are best ways to communicate, and we need to learn those first before we're going to work through our relationship ladder. The second step is trust. And you might be surprised to hear me say that trust is not the foundation of our relationship ladder. And that is because trust is a mental attitude. Trust is based on emotion, and emotions are fluid. Emotions waver. So it's okay to recognize when there are pockets of mistrust in a relationship. And trust is all about the recognition that your partner wants what's best for you as much as they want what's best for themselves. That's what trust is in a relationship. Trust is being able to be vulnerable with your partner, and feeling like you can be emotionally safe with your partner. The next step of our relationship ladder is my favorite step, conflict, or moving through conflict. This is the meat and potatoes of couples counseling, because couples come in saying, there's a hole in my roof, help me fix it. And so there are better ways to be in conflict. Again, growth mindset. We are never going to be completely conflict-free. We're going to argue with our partner. It's natural. It's okay. But there are more effective ways of doing it. So we want to look at moving through conflict, okay? Moving through, not arriving at a perfect resolution, but moving through it in ways that help us recover, knowing how to recover from conflict without feeling lingering resentment toward our partner, without being defensive, without fighting dirty, what I call a fighting stance, using name calling and getting defensive. So we're going to take a good amount of time looking at how to move through conflict in your relationship. The next step on our relationship ladder is mutual respect and healthy boundaries. And mutual respect and healthy boundaries go hand in hand because they are very similar. I think we all know what respect is, but defining it in terms of your romantic relationship, respect is the mutual prioritization of your relationship. That is the number one way to respect your partner. The next step on our relationship ladder is flexibility. So knowing how to move through life transitions, knowing how to accept changes in day-to-day life without imposing harsh rules to situations, without projecting negative feelings onto your partner. So being flexible means letting go of control. And I know letting go of control is like doing emotional Olympics, but we're going to work on it. Growth mindset, right? Okay, so we've gone through all the steps on the ladder. but there are two more. They're not steps, they are the pillars of the ladder that hold all of those steps together because they should be constant. So one side of the ladder is connection. And that might be what we think about first when we think about relationships. We think about being a match with our partner, having fun with our partner, that basic engagement and connection. And that is very important because that is our day-to-day. That is how we are with each other throughout life. There are ways to engage with your partner to really feel super connected. It should be constant. And I'm not talking about romance and, fancy vacations or fancy dates and flowers. I'm talking about that basic friendship that you have with your partner. And the last pillar of our relationship ladder is individuals that work on their mental health. So two people in a relationship, in an effort to make that relationship stronger, need to always be working on themselves in an effort to know yourself, to understand what your triggers are, to understand what you want and need from your partner, just to be able to stand strong on your own so that you can be strong together. And so we're going to take a look at what being mentally healthy or working on mental health looks like. I want to talk about the why of relationships. Why are we in relationships? And I want to bring this up as motivation to move us through this course so that we can remember the why of relationships as we get into more difficult subjects or conflict. So, have you ever thought about what function love as an emotion actually serves? So, some field experts believe that it is a survival mechanism, a survival instinct, meaning we attach to our partners to feel more safe and secure, to feel happier, healthier, and ultimately to thrive, much like how young children attach to caregivers for optimal development. And so there is a reason we're in relationships more than just romance. You are going to be more happy, less stressed, and ultimately more successful in every facet of your life when your relationship is healthy and engaging and supportive and loving. It is also interesting to consider what's happening in your brain when you're in love. So neurotransmitter dopamine and the bonding hormone oxytocin speak to the brain's reward center when we're in love. So what that means is that when we are with our partner and we're experiencing the primary emotion of love, our brain is registering that as rewarding. And as a result of that, our stress levels decrease and our hormones are more in balance in a way. And so love actually serves a huge function for us physiologically, mentally, emotionally. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of how to be in a thriving relationship, I want to end this first segment with a priming technique, getting you ready for this class. And so it is what I call the 3 things thought exercise. And so I do this sometimes at the beginning of couples therapy sessions to prime couples to get ready for a session, right? To put them in a place where they are feeling more loving, more patient, more forgiving. And so I also do this at the end of intense sessions sometimes after there's been a lot of conflict or arguments, disagreements, because again, it's like a cool down. So thought exercise. I want you to think of the 3 things that you love most about your partner. The 3 things you love most. And it might change from day to day or from week to week. There's no right way to do this. I just want you to think of the 3 things you love most. Maybe it is your partner's optimism or their nurturing nature, whatever it is for you. Go there. Think of the good stuff, those 3 things about your partner that you love the most. So what this is doing is creating loving feelings as a result of an internal prompt. So you are creating a positive space. You are putting yourself into a loving mindset, into a loving stance. And so I'll do this at the beginning of sessions so that we attend sessions as our best selves. And this is something that I might ask you to do as we move through this class, just to emotionally prime you, to get back in the headspace of the why of your relationship. Why are you in this relationship, right? We've learned kind of about this relationship ladder, and now we're going to move through that ladder. And it all starts with our beliefs about relationships.